Today, I am venturing into one of the most remote areas left in the United States, the Greater Owyhee Canyonlands region. This 13,000 square mile area is almost completely uninhabited and is made up of vast swaths of high desert that are cut up by the rugged canyons of the Owyhee, Bruneau, and Jarbidge rivers. I'm going to be exploring one of these hard-to-reach canyons, not on foot, but rather on a paddleboard. This will easily be the most remote and inaccessible place I have visited so far on this channel, and it was quite an adventure. Welcome to one of the many canyons of the Owyhee. I am currently out here with Martha and then also my dad and my sister, and we are currently heading down to the river where we're going to be paddleboarding for about 6 miles west. And as I said in the intro, this canyon is super remote. We are very, very far out there, and it's quite a lot of effort to get down to the river here. We started by driving in up to the basalt rim up there, and now we have to pack down these heavy paddle boards off trail through the rocks all the way down to the river, and that's what we're doing right now. All right, we've officially made it past the kind of boring first section, and now we're to the amazing stuff. This is the gorge that we're going to be going through, and we'll be pumping up our paddle boards on that beach there. One of my favorite parts about the Owyhees is the color combination here. I love the dark black rocks with the bright green rivers. So, some of you may know that the rivers out here are actually pretty popular among whitewater river rafters and kayakers. But the thing is that a lot of these rivers are kind of on the small side compared to, say, I don't know, the Colorado River. So they can only really be rafted in the spring months when all the snowmelt is coming down and there's high flows. And what we're going to be doing is what BLM river rangers like to call ELF. Extra low flow. And really the only way to get down the river at extra low flow is on paddle boards. Also, I'm really excited to talk about the geology of this area today. So I just wanted to open up a question for all of the geology-oriented viewers to guess what kind of rock this is. What kind of rock is this? It's a military jet that's flying over it. There's another thing about this area is there's a lot of military bases around since it's so remote, so you get buzzed a lot. Okay, we've officially made it to the bottom of the canyon, and we have 2 paddle boards pumped up to get to this gravel bar. Now we're gonna pump up the other 2 and then get heading out.
Keep going.
All right, here we go. Launching the boards. Here we go. Down. Right. Okay. On the water, ready to get going. We're just gonna have to be careful today. Well, I'm gonna have to be careful today because this camera can't get wet, so I'm gonna have to switch back and forth between this and my GoPro. So one of the cool things about doing the river at extra low flow is it's a lot different than the rafting experience of the spring, which is a lot more popular. And that's because in the spring, for one, the river is raging. It's pretty dangerous. You've got class 4 and 5 rapids out here, and it's really cold. So you have to be geared up for freezing weather and water. Whereas today, it is probably, I don't know, 80, 85, 90 degrees, and the water is gonna be our friend instead of our foe when it comes to temperature. Not bad. Skip this. Hitting a couple rocks already. And occasionally when the water is deep enough I can stand, I'm likely to fall over because of that. Oh man, this is gorgeous. Okay, we got another riffle coming up. The water is super shallow. So what happens is that the fins in the back of the board just catch on rocks and send you flying forward. Yeah, this is full of rocks. Okay. Whew. So I took out my camera for this riffle and I immediately got caught up on a rock, so I'm stuck now. But honestly it's kind of nice because now I can film. And up here we have a huge boulder garden, as my dad calls them, where just house-sized boulders have fallen off into the river and create these interesting dynamics. And what's really cool is these are the spots that are extremely treacherous and deadly for river rafters, the class 4 and 5 rapids. But for us, it's more of just weaving in and out, and they're not dangerous, but honestly cool.
Do a hard right behind this rock. Hard right.
I made it.
I'm stuck.
You're stuck? You got it? You almost just gotta like hang on to the boulders. Woo! I made it! I'm back here. Okay, I'm coming in. Ah, I'm coming in. Oh. Current situation, boulder garden is a little tough. I'm currently standing waist deep in water. My paddleboard's kind of stuck in this riffle. I'm waiting for them to get through. Woo! Oh, there goes my board. My dad totally just ran into me. Oh, that's funny. This is what ELF is, extra low flow. Oh my god. Wow. We successfully made it through the falls, and I lost my GoPro screw. I think it hit a rock and knocked off. So now I can't mount my GoPro onto anything, which is really annoying. But I might just take a chance and hold it. Now we have a lot more big boulders. There's the canyon up ahead. So I think as long as I don't hit my GoPro on anything, like during these calmer sections, it'll stay on the board, even without the screw. So I just have to be really careful. Okay, we've reached our next obstacle. I somehow have to squeeze through this hole in the boulders. We all do. It's gonna be like river caving, which is a little bit interesting. Here's kind of the cavern down there. I don't even know how I'm supposed to get through that, but that's what my dad says I have to do. And these are the house-sized boulders that are blocking the way. And I guess that's the only way through, so. Okay. I'm pushing the boat through. Getting in the water. It's pretty deep. Oh wow, it's really deep.
Hold on to your stuff.
Here we go. 5, 6, 7 feet deep. Yeah, I can't stand there. Okay.
How do you do that? Well, you have the rope though.
You gotta hold on to the board, I guess, and then float through. Wow. That is pretty fun. Here's the other way. Opens up really fast. It's just a small spot that's super low, and then this pool of water is, I don't know how deep it is. I'm just gonna wedge my paddleboard right there. Get Martha coming through.
Oh my god, I just touched something.
It's a rock. Nice.
It was definitely a shark.
Yeah, sure. Nice job, Layla. Getting through the low spot. Okay, I'm breaking out the good camera for a sec to give you guys a better view. Here's our paddle boards are all piled up in the boulders. And my dad should be coming through in a sec. Can you squish that bag down enough?
I did. What's it hanging up on? Okay, there we go.
My bag's through. Really?
No, not this part.
I feel like that would be memorable. And you can kind of see high water marks on this big boulder here and around here. So at high water, if you got caught in that little cavity we went under, you'd be dead. Basically, unlike the canyonland system of Utah, which is all made up of sedimentary rocks, mostly sandstone, these canyonlands are dominated by volcanic rocks, mostly basalt and rhyolite. So a lot of this darker, very dense rocks, this is the basalt, it's black in color, and then up on the cliffs above, you can see a lot of the rhyolite, which is lighter in color. But the story is, this area of southern Idaho, eastern Oregon, northern Nevada has been extremely volcanically active due to the fact that the Yellowstone hotspot used to sit under this area. So there's just been tons and tons of lava flows, both rhyolitic and basaltic, which has built up the rock of these canyons, which the rivers have then cut down through. What's really cool about the geology with all these lava flows is all the rivers out here started forming about 2 million years ago, and at that point there was still volcanism. So sometimes in canyons like this, an eruption would happen and lava would pour over the cliffs and create dams and dam up the river and create lakes until it eroded back through it. I don't think any of those are on this small section of river we're on, but if you can imagine lava pouring off of a cliff into a river, just picture that in your head. It's pretty cool that has existed many times here. Once we get to the next flat water section, I'll talk about just how remote it really is here and how hard it was to get here. Wow, look this way. It's crazy. Here's back upstream. Just like a Massive cavern. Cool.
It's such an amazing shot. So yeah, there's a Hungarian partridge.
Here's some debris that really shows where the high water mark was. And when that flow happened, that deposited those branches up there, there was probably about 10,000 cubic feet of water per second flowing through here. And right now, there's only 35. So that kind of gives you an idea of scale of how much lower this is from spring flows. So, how remote is this area, really? Let's talk about that. Well, first off, I imagine most people who watch any of my videos have seen my most popular video, which is the most remote places left in America. I think this region was number 6 on that list, but honestly, after coming out here a couple times again this summer, it could probably be top 3 easily. And this canyon alone, to give you an idea how hard it was to get here, I think took 5-6 hours to get just to the rim from the closest nearest city, which is Boise. And the other thing is, the last 2 or 3 hours is completely on a very rough dirt road, which is why I wouldn't be able to make it here without my dad's help, because he has a 4Runner, and let's just say my Crosstrek would not have made it. And we are just surrounded by oceans of sagebrush. I think out of anywhere I've ever been, this is the most remote it feels, just because we didn't see a single car or a single building for the last couple hours of the trip. Here's my current view. This just massive rhyolite wall here on both sides. It's crazy because there's like no bank to the river. It's just cliffs and then water. And like I said, this is just one small section of hundreds of canyons out in this region. So if you can imagine, we were able to get to this section just because there happened to be a road to the cliff called a cherry stem, because this is wilderness. But imagine all of the sections of canyon that don't have a road to the edge. One of my other favorite visual aspects of the landscape out here is the lichen. So on this great wall of rhyolite up here, you can see lots of kind of lime or yellow splotches. And that's all just a bunch of lichen. It's a bunch of bass. Non-native, unfortunately. See if I can catch a fish real quick. We're in a nice pool. Unfortunately, we now have a headwind, so whenever you stop moving, the wind starts pushing you back upstream, which is really annoying. Oh! Had a bite. Oh, I think I got him. There we go. There we go! I think this is a pike minnow? Pike minnow or something. I don't know my fish very well. I've just been seeing them in the water. Cool, let them go. Through the arch. Gotta pull myself through. There we go. Boulder arch. Okay, we've got a nice cloud and a tailwind. Things are great. Also, I wanted to pose a question. So I think I'm gonna try to visit and document every single one of the most remote places from my 2 current videos on the subject. And this can kind of be the first of that series. So let me know which one I should go to next. Like I said, I have the 2 videos and there's 10 in each. So not counting this one, 19 more options. So as I mentioned earlier, this canyon is in wilderness, as with most of the canyons out here in the Waihi Canyonlands region. I wanted to highlight a BLM video that was made on how to respect these rivers and to be, I don't know, respectful to both the rivers and the next people who travel here. So I'm gonna link that video below. And like I said, it's just on wilderness river etiquette. Not only is it extremely beautiful, but because of the crazy remoteness and the difficulty required to get down here, it's just untouched. This is truly untouched wilderness. Because, you know, we have a lot of wilderness in the United States, but some of them are very popular. Say, for example, the Yosemite wilderness gets very heavy use, or the Teton wilderness. But here, there's almost no one. Like I said, the most popular activity is rafting, and that's pretty much only in the springtime. We haven't seen a single person for the last couple days out here, and we probably won't see anyone today either, or tomorrow. And that's why I'm not including the exact name of the canyon, and I'm talking about this stuff now, just so I can do my part to continue to help protect these really remote places that are left in America. I found a good fishing hole. Lots of big bass here. Nice. Okay, we've officially made it to our takeout. This is another cherry stem that cuts into the wilderness. You can see that's a wilderness post right over there. So yeah, we're gonna go get the 4Runner, bring it down here, and pack up, and then find somewhere pretty to camp for the night. It is several hours later. We've brought all our stuff back up and we've made camp up on this ridge here that's kind of halfway between the river and the upper basalt cliff. That had to have been one of my favorite trips I've ever done. It was just such an amazing experience overall. Beautiful views. It was kind of a workout. It wasn't easy. And then the solitude. Not a single person. Don't leave just yet because hopefully we're gonna get some amazing stars tonight, and then the morning views of the canyon that way tomorrow should be amazing, since I'll be able to launch my drone one last time from the cherry stem and see the morning sun hit those canyon walls. Can't launch the drone anywhere but from the road, so I'm making sure to be ethical about that. So yeah, gonna head to bed now and we'll see what stars we get.